Mm. Salud. Hi, it's Melinda from Hope When There Was None. So this is my page. This is where I come and share information about domestic violence, emotional traumas, toxic relationships, and so on. I started this page, if you haven't been here before, oh my goodness, over 10 years ago. I started the page a little later than that, but I share. I started out by blogging, and here I am today. I started doing videos maybe about 2 years ago to just get more of a word out there, to have more of an impact as well. And yeah, just to share tidbits of my story. So I wrote a book. It's called Call Me Master. And you can find that at Amazon. If you are a victim or survivor of domestic abuse, you are more than welcome to get this free. Just let me know. You can send me a message privately, and I can send you the PDF, and that would be free to you. I do have a follow-up book. It's called Rising from the Ashes, and I will get into that probably maybe next week. I think maybe sometime I'll start reading from that one. But today we're going to head into chapter 21. Now, if you haven't caught up with any of the other videos, please, there is a playlist. Please check that out in the video section. It's Call Me Master, and you have from chapter 1 and to where I am currently. I haven't gone through each chapter. I just haven't. I've skipped around a little bit, but you can get the gist. And I even kind of go ad nauseum a little bit right now with explaining different things, but I try and give you like a little bit of commentary as well. So I'm going to get into Chapter 21 is what I'm jumping into right now. It's, do you know what the definition of insanity is? It's doing the same thing over and over and expecting the same results. You're leaving me? This is December 2008. I've been reading, my book is in chronological order, the best that I could from, it's just a timeline. So you can read from when I was a child on through to when I was an adult and when I left my ex. Now, Rising from the Ashes, I had so many folks reach out to me and say, well, first of all, how did you meet Mr. Awesome? How did you get through what you went through? How did you just move on? And what was happening behind the scenes with different things that you were doing? Sorry, I know I'm moving you there a little bit. How did you get through? So that's what prompted the second book. But let's get into this one right now. So You're Leaving Me, December 2008. I stood nervously in front of him. He was perched on the steps of our home. He was rocking back and forth, and he was hugging himself very tightly. His face was red, and his eyes were tearful. There was a low moan that arose from his lips. And I had just told him that I'm done with our marriage. The minutes ticked by, and time just seemed to stand still. I glanced nervously out of the corner of my eye to see the clock, and only 10 minutes had gone by since I dropped that bomb. I wanted a divorce. I was so done. I waited with caution, unsure when the other shoe was going to drop. If silence was a cake, it would have been sliced very thick. I tried to keep my mind clear, and my body was so tense I wasn't sure what he was going to do to me this time. Please don't leave me, Mel. Haven't I changed? I've been trying so hard. His voice was filled with compassion and sadness. I felt my resolve soften. Guilt had flooded in, and all of a sudden, as if a light switch just turned, his face twisted into fury. He leapt off the stairs and grabbed my throat. He pushed me up against the wall with such force I wasn't sure if my head was bleeding. I gasped for breath, and my composure turned into fear, and I tried to pry his hands off of my throat. My thoughts immediately turned to my kids. I could see them out of the corner of my eye, lingering, watching quietly. Their faces showed quivering lips and tearful eyes. Miranda began shouting, "Leave my mom alone!" He turned toward the kids and bellowed, "Mom doesn't love you anymore. If she did, she wouldn't want to leave." They scurried away. I could imagine the quiet sobs coming from them. I heard loud hushing to be quiet so Dad didn't yell anymore. During that diversion, he loosened his grip enough for me to break free. My neck hurt, my head hurt, and my resolve rushed back. What mattered was to get to safety. I didn't love him. My desire to be free of him was so great, and he just stared at me. "Haven't I taken care of you?" he fumed. "If you leave me, you take nothing. Haven't I? No, the kids stay with me, and if you leave, I will kill them while they're sleeping. I'll make it look like an accident," he bellowed. It's not the first time that he's done that or said that. This was a reoccurring theme, a recurring threat that he would say just off the cuff. That was his one go-to because he knew that would get to me. So I haven't hit you in months, you stupid lazy bitch. I've done everything for you. I bust my ass at work, work in the heat, work in the cold, give you everything. And how do you repay me? He sneered with a mocking high-pitched voice. He said, oh, poor Mel. Things get a little rough and she runs away. How about that, Mel? It's your fault. You caused this, he said. He stuck his finger in my face. He continued on angrily. You know what? Fine. Just leave me. Go F whatever boyfriend or girlfriend you've been seeing. How long have you been cheating on me? You've been late coming from the shop, and every time I call you, I hear someone laughing in the background. Go on, go upstairs, say goodbye to the kids, let them know it's your fault that we're divorcing. Tell them that you're selfish and going to break up the family. I pursed my lips, and I just wanted to scream and argue back, but I was hesitant to do so. So I turned, and I slowly climbed up the stairs. I could feel him glaring at me. I hated him, and I hated myself for allowing this to keep happening. I approached the kids' room. I could hear real sobs coming from the girls' room. My eyes were red, were swollen and teary. I saw 3 huddled figures holding one another. My heart was stuck in my throat. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Gina. Whew, gosh, he was right. Maybe it was me scaring them. I honestly did think this. I rushed to hug them, and they held on so tightly, and I told them everything was going to be okay. I said the words, not knowing for sure if this was true. My son Nathan asked if I had to leave, and I replied no, I was staying. We all softly cried together. Will had come up the stairs silently. Hey, Colleen. Will had come up the stairs silently. He was watching the kids and me hugging one another. I could hear him softly clear his throat. I then felt him gently stroke my hair, and I stiffened instantly. This caused him to draw back his hand. It was as though he touched something hot, but I didn't turn around. He fell to his knees, and he was saying, please, Mel, don't leave me. He reached around to the kids and me to give us a hug. I'm trying, babe. Please be patient with me. I'll go to the doctor again. I'll tell them everything. I promised. We attended visits to the psychiatrist to get a refill on his medication. He boasted about how he would tell the guy everything he wanted to hear. Of course, I tried not to share anything negative during these visits. Now, I couldn't share, hi, Michelle, I couldn't share what was going on behind closed doors. He threatened me if I were to come forward and tell the psychiatrist what was going on, there would be repercussions. I would get it. I would get what was coming to me. And I didn't know what it was, but I knew it was going to be bad. Hey, Miss Teresa. So I made sure I kept my mouth shut. I didn't say anything when we were at the doctor's. So I stayed longer. That was December 2008, and it wasn't the last incident. He would throw things around, threaten to slit the kids' throats if I left him. At the beginning of January, I was terribly nervous. Now, this is a little graphic, and I put it in here because when you're going, it describes what's going on to my body. It's not just the physical abuse that I was enduring, but physically, literally, my chemistry was changing. It had been doing that for years. I did find out I was Lyme positive, but in addition to that, just the stress. When you're under a lot of stress, your body just goes through wonky things. It makes your life sideways, honestly. So this is a little TMI. No, it's early in the morning, but so I was terribly nervous, and that's when I stopped going number 2. I don't wish to be graphic about any more of my bathroom habits. Apparently, my body was shutting down on all levels. I was diagnosed with a small ulcer about this time as well, and feeling so tired and weighed down. I'm a terrible fibber, and honestly, I am. I'm a terrible fibber. It's not something I do well, and I haven't even told my fair share of fish tales. I was having a hard time keeping up with the charade. See, no one knew what was going on behind closed doors. I mean, I'm sure people had an inkling, like my family knew, but they didn't know the severity. They also, I didn't share this with everybody, so you saw me as a mom's club, throughout the years, a mom's club leader, a Girl Scout leader, Boy Scout leader, Cub Scout leader, PTO. I was on the PTO. I was involved in different things in church as much as I could, as much as he allowed me to. So you didn't know. You just saw me as busy. I had a lawn care business. I had a craft business at one point in time. I did a couple other things, and then the antique business. So you saw me as this person with a pasted face on, this smile that was happy, and that's what I did. That's what I led everybody else to see. I didn't let them see what was happening behind closed doors because I knew there would be repercussions. So it was a charade I was keeping up all the time. Well, Will began to notice that things were missing, and he brought it to my attention. See, at this time, around this time, I decided that things were getting too much. So I contacted my parents and told them that I needed to leave. This was it. This was the stopping point. I had to go. So he began to notice things were missing. He brought it to my attention. First, my clothes. He swore up and down many of my clothes were missing. And to be honest, I hadn't moved anything for me or the kids. We needed to talk, but these talks, as he would call them, would go on for hours and hours. There would be threats of harm to the kids, him, or me. If we had these talks overnight, he would keep me awake until I agreed to stay or see things his way. Sometimes, more than likely, it would end up to be physical. Since I had made the decision to leave, I was feeling bolder to stand up for the kids and myself. I admitted to him on numerous times that I didn't love him anymore and to please just let me go. I pleaded for freedom, letting him know that this isn't fair to stay in the relationship. He should be able to find somebody that would make him happy. One night he said, "Don't you love me anymore?" Without skipping a beat, I said, "No." He seemed surprised, and I don't know why we had gotten this same disagreement for many years. Argue. Tears rolled down his face, and I kept thinking to myself silently, "This isn't going to work this time, buddy." I rolled over because I was laying in bed at the time. I rolled over on my side and pretended to sleep. He was talking loudly, gibberish, that I wasn't in love, that he was stupid, and he started to punch the bed with his fists. I held my breath, waiting for him to start punching or choking me. He swung his legs over to the side of the bed, mumbled about me leaving him. He quickly jumped up and began bashing his head on the wall, banging it really hard. He punched a screen out of the window that was right next to him. I snuggled deeper into the blankets and prayed that he would calm down soon. He said my name loudly. Not waiting for a response, he snatched all the blankets off of me in order for me to get up. I panicked inwardly and asked him to calm down. I backpedaled, said, "Hey, we could work it out. I didn't mean anything I said." And he started to cry. Why was I saying these things to him? I couldn't answer him. I was so scared, not wanting to show any fear. I said, "I'm sorry, just please come back to bed." I tried to reassure him that I was tired. After a few more hours of him grilling me, he finally said, "Okay." I breathed a sigh of relief and thanked God silently for helping me get through this. The next day, it was like nothing ever happened. It was things as normal. This isn't a surprise. Now I felt an urgency to get out even sooner. I called my sister as soon as I had the chance to get alone, and to let her know that this needed to happen soon. Unfortunately, this was January 2009. He's a seasonal worker. He's on and off during the winter months. I tried not to panic, but kept a cool head and started to plan. So I didn't have any clothes missing. I didn't take anything out of the house that time, but I knew in my mind that I needed to start going. And the funny thing is I was sneaking things with my dad. You'll find out in the next chapter, I believe it is. I wasn't taking anything like that. I was taking things that some photo albums, there were some cookbooks, and there was some little things here and there, some books, because he's not an avid reader. So I would squirrel those away and give them to my dad. So I don't know what he was seeing. Maybe his spidey senses were going off. Maybe the dark side was feeding him information. I don't know what it is. It was really creepy. And, just the hairs on the back of my neck would stand up, and I would just pray, "Oh Lord, please don't let him be getting any thoughts or something." I don't know. It was very weird. It was a weird time. So that was chapter 21. I'm going to do chapter 22, which is really, really short. This is it, guys. It's really tiny. I'm going to do that tomorrow. And then I think I'll hit 23 too. That's a little longer, but we'll do that. That's right before I left. And I did leave him in February, at the end of February of 2009 for good. But that's it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. If you're watching this in a replay, do me a favor, do a hashtag fire emoji. Let me know where you're from. I'd love to hear about you, maybe your story, if you'd like to share that down in the comments. What is your survival story? I'd love to know. Is it from your childhood? Is it as an adult, or are you still with your abuser? Please do me a favor as well. Share awareness, share this video, share anything from this page, or just check in on a neighbor or a family friend, loved one that might be in an abusive situation right now. Think of a safe word, something. All right, if they're doing okay, if they have a moment, they might not have any time free, especially right now when so many of us are still under quarantine. Well, again, this is Melinda. Thank you so much for watching and supporting and the encouragement. I appreciate it. Mwah! Hope you have a great day, and please stay safe. Bye. Or not. Trying to get in.